Ever feel like your fears are auditioning for the lead role in your life story? Well, it's time to say cut to anxiety and take back control. In this video, we're tackling those sneaky fears head on with some clever hacks and methods to help you cope. Stay tuned because it's time to show fear the door. I'm Leslie, a therapist guiding you into physical, mental, and emotional wellness. And let's start first with the fear trifecta, and then we're going to focus on a few coping strategies to overcome them.
The fear trifecta are the three most common fears that can internalize our beliefs about ourselves. These tend to shed negative and untrue beliefs about ourselves, and when we get to the core of the fear, then we can figure out the belief and challenge it with evidence to decide whether to take action or to change our beliefs. These three fears include the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, and the fear of the unknown. Let's start with fear of failure. What does fearing failure mean? It means that we're striving to be perfect. But the thing is that no one is perfect. We have to have failure in order to get to success. Just like as a baby, you started with these small steps, sitting up, getting on all fours, crawling to standing to walking, and all of these parts came with failures and practice. And that's what failure really means. It means that we need to have a mindset of learning. Like, oh, that didn't go like I thought, and so I'm going to just adjust a bit and try again. So then what is the belief that we are telling ourselves about failure? Typically, this means we are saying we are not good enough. We expect ourselves to be better than maybe what we are capable of in the moment. So changing this belief will be crucial in overcoming the fear of failure. Stay with me because coming up, I'm going to share how to change these beliefs and some coping strategies to get through out in the fear trifecta is the fear of rejection. So here's the thing. As humans, we have this ancestral need to be connected to one another. That's because a long time ago, we needed each other in order to survive. And if you were kicked out of the tribe, this meant you were likely to die because you wouldn't have the help and support of everyone else. And while to an extent we really want to feel this connection to others, we actually can survive without these close connections. Is that an enjoyable life? Maybe for some, but not for me and not for most people. So the underlying beliefs about yourself are that you are not likable, or that no one loves you, or that you are going to have to live alone for the rest of your life. This mentality, though, is called all or nothing thinking and are irrational thoughts. Because maybe in a particular moment you didn't get what you wanted out of an interaction. But that doesn't mean that it should resort to all or nothing thinking or blaming yourself because of this interaction. It still can be a learning curve on how to best interact with different people or in different social situations. It's an experiment and a learning process, not meant to assume this belief that you are not lovable. And the final fear in the fear trifecta is the fear of the unknown. The fear of the unknown is about uncertainty of things. Life is filled with uncertainty, and while we like to have a plan and know what to expect, life throws us curveballs all the time. This means we have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable and the unknown. The more that we fear uncertainty, the more anxiety we'll continue to have in our lives. The underlying beliefs might be that I can't handle the unexpected, or I will not be able to survive if things don't go how I expected them to. And while you may not word it in your mind this particular way, it's exactly what is true. We all want things to go our way and how we want it to, but life is not like that. That's why having a great coping strategy can really be helpful in overcoming these fears. But before we dig into these coping strategies, I wanted to tell you about my sponsor for this video. Ha! It's me! I'm the sponsor. Well, I actually offer these really cool watercolor wellness workshops each first Saturday of the month. I focus on different themes each month that we complete different self-care activities around. We start with movement, and then we do a watercolor activity completely for beginners. And while we do the watercolor, we're going to discuss and ask questions and carry on a conversation to nurture your mind on whatever topic is for that month. And then we listen to a meditation that I have pre-recorded with affirmations on that theme. And we complete the watercolor before discussing our intentions for the next week. It should be a lot of fun, and you can visit my website at masteryourmoment.net to find out more, or find the link in the description below. So we're going to first start with the coping strategy of having a goal. Did you know that the first way to tackle anything is through awareness? So thus a goal is formed, whether that is to overcome perfectionism, to feel accepted or connected to others, or to just chill when surprises come our way. Let's take overcoming perfectionism and what that would look like. Your goal might be to identify one small task or project that feels slightly outside of your comfort zone. This could be presenting on an idea in a meeting, trying a new hobby, or initiating a conversation with someone new. Each time you are successful, you will increase your confidence, and the more that you practice, the easier it will be. Next, let's discuss exposure therapy. This is simply taking that goal, breaking it down into something you feel slightly uncomfortable with, but not too much, and then increasing it something a little bit harder each time until you reach your goal. Let's imagine you have a fear of making new friends, and it's been holding you back from enjoying social activities. You decide to work with a therapist who suggests exposure therapy, and together you create a plan to gradually face your fear. You start identifying different social situations that make you anxious, like talking to a stranger, joining a group conversation, and inviting someone to hang out. You rank these from least to most intimidating in the first week. Your task is simply to smile and say hello to a coworker you don't really talk to. It's a small step, but it's manageable. And as you get comfortable with this, the next week you challenge yourself to initiate a short conversation with someone new, perhaps by commenting on the weather or a shared interest. Each week you take on slightly more challenging tasks, like joining a group discussion at a social event, and eventually you work your way up to inviting someone out for coffee. Throughout the process, you meet with your therapist and discuss your experiences, celebrate your successes, and strategize for future steps. Over time, you find that the anxiety lessens and making new friends becomes less daunting. By facing your fear gradually, and you can build confidence and start to enjoy forming new connections. You have to want the change though, because if you don't, it's not going to work. So let's talk about support. In exposure therapy, you gain the support from a therapist, and we can have a support from other people as well. Have you ever talked to a friend and they helped you through a really difficult time? Well, that's the same with fears. When you have a goal, share it with a friend or family member who can help you, encourage you, and let you process your fears as long as it is in a positive and supportive manner. Well, that all sounds great, but what about the fear when it takes over already? How can you handle that? And how can you be prepared for it? Well, that comes with the coping strategy of mindfulness, meditation, or breathing exercises. These activities are ways of helping your brain take control and focus. When we get into a fear state, our amygdala just goes crazy and keeps us from thinking clearly. But if we recognize it, and then we can choose to use a focus technique like breathing in for 4 seconds, holding for 4 seconds, and breathing out for 4 seconds, and repeating this pattern to help calm our minds and let go of whatever the fear is not serving us. But that takes practice over and over. Next, we have positive self-talk. Fear has us telling ourselves negative things. This can really mess with our mindset. But if we decide before the fear happens what we want to say during those moments, we can practice positive self-talk. I was watching a video the other day of a dash cam, and this woman was letting her daughter drive, and out of nowhere, this car hits them, and it sends them spinning and off the road. Scary, right? But the woman tells her daughter, "We are safe. We are fine. We are safe." This response is much more reassuring than, oh no, the car is ruined. This is going to cost me so much money. I'm never going to make ends meet now. How am I ever going to get to work? You can just spiral so easily. But if at any moment something happens that is unexpected or where you might feel unsafe even though you are not, you can plan to say this as your mantra or affirmation until your mind can adjust to it and accept it as the truth. The final one is visualization. Visualization can be so powerful. And the best part is the fact that you can practice whenever and wherever you want. Imagine yourself in the moment of the fear. And then imagine, how do you want to be? Just by practicing this, you can inch a little closer each day. And in my next week's video, I'm going to show you how I actually do this with my daughter. As we utilize all of these skills I teach, I'm going to be teaching her how to drive. But in the meantime, you can actually click on this video here to get access to the meditation that will help you visualize overcoming your fears. If you enjoyed this video, the easiest way to show your support is to like this video and comment a fear that you are trying to overcome. And until next time, go master your next moment.